In this video, I want to look at designing a profile for this communications duct so that it stays at a depth below this terrain model, which in this particular case represents a road surface. And we can see in the plan view on the top left here, this duct is crossing the road surface. I've got the Civil AccuDraw toolbar running here, and because I've got focus on the plan view, the toolbar's giving me 2D constructs like distance, direction, station and offset and tools like that. If I click on the profile view, the constructs available to me on the toolbar change, and I want to use the profile offset construction to define my profile. So I'm going to define a series of lines at the elevations that I want. I'm going to use the profile line between points tool. Civil AccuDraw is running and I've selected the profile offset tool so we can see our two prompts to define the station and the profile offset. I'm going to press the O key and select my active terrain model as the reference, and as I move the cursor here we can see that I'm offsetting from that surface. So I'm going to start by positioning a point here below the edge of the road. I'm going to press the return key to lock the station value, and I'm going to type in a profile offset of minus 0.75. So I want to be 3/4 of a meter below that road surface, and I'll left click to accept that location. We'll define a second point across here. Again, I'm just going to press return to lock that station value, and again type in my profile offset of 0.75. That's the first line created. Let's define a second line, and I'm just going to hover and snap to the end of that first line. And then my end point here, I want to make sure that I don't accidentally snap to the end of the profile. So I'm going to lock that station there, and again type in my profile offset and click to accept that. I can now turn off Civil AccuDraw. I'm going to complete my profile using the line between points tool twice more. Now this comms duct's being defined with its reference elevations about the soffit, so I'm going to snap there to the soffit where it comes out of the chamber, and snap there to my civil line, and then I'll do the same at the other end, snap into the profile line and the soffit there. So my new profile is now 4 pieces of geometry. I need to join those together, and I can do that using the Complex by Elements tool. The method here is automatic, which means it should find subsequent elements that are within that maximum gap tolerance to the first element that I select. So I'll just hover over the first element and left click to accept it, and as you can see it's highlighted the remaining 3 elements, so I can left click to accept that. So if I now pick that element, we can see it's now a complex of the 4 pieces, but all of the rules of those 4 pieces are embedded in the complex. Now, if I zoom in here and hover over that element from my context-sensitive toolbar, I can choose to set as active profile. And when I do this, the profile of that communications duct is now following that profile geometry that we've just created. The 3D model has been updated, and if we just position the cursor there somewhere where we can rotate it around, we can see how the duct profile zooms down lower as it comes out of the chamber at either end to go underneath the road. Because in this situation I've located my chambers using Civil AccuDraw, I can just zoom in the plan view here and select my chamber and use the manipulator to maybe adjust the chainage here. So I'll just type in a slightly different value. And as we can see, the 3D view's updated, but the profile view and the profile of the communications duct has also updated, and it's retained and honoured our Civil AccuDraw station and profile offset points.